All right. Mr. Hoover, is this you?
Yes, sir. It's me.
All right. Excellent. Thank you very much for calling in. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
We're doing good. We're doing good. I'm a Chicago Bulls fan, so after last night, I can't be much happier. That's for sure.
I'm a Knicks fan, so I'm hoping I'm a little happier come tomorrow morning.
Hey, you and me both, my friend. Well, I'm a reporter, so at home I can be a fan, but while I'm at the games or what have you, I got to totally like nothing matters. So.
Yeah, you got to be as unbiased as possible, right?
Exactly.
I mean, I can't lie. That's got real. I mean, not before we dive into everything else. As a reporter, being live at the games and being a fan of the team you're watching play, how hard is it when, say, it's a minute left and, Melo hits a shot that puts New York up by 2 with 60 seconds left in the game? How hard is it for you not to just let the fan in you take over and just jump up and down with excitement?
It's funny you say that. I've been doing this for 14 years. It's weird because I tell everybody, and I was just talking to somebody just recently. When I'm at the game, it seems like there's like a shield where I just feel because I'm with other reporters, so it's not like I'm sitting in the middle of fans. I'm sitting with people from ESPN, you name it, just whoever's covering the game. So I'm not, they're not doing it, so you wouldn't do it either. And now in your mind, like say. How you're talking about certain things, you might say, okay, they need to do certain such. You may say something like that, kind of quietly, just to see how things would matriculate. But if it's a buzzer beater, or like when Jerald, now I would say this, when Jerald hit that half-court jump shot with form against the Celtics, and I believe it was in Game 1, almost everybody stood up because it was more shocking than, it was the end of the quarter, but the way the whole thing kind of erupted, it was kind of weird. But I don't cheer if they win at the buzzer or there's an important block or anything like that. I just fall and sit totally. Now at home, hey, if they're up by 10 and they pull a Golden State, I have to literally turn the television.
Now speaking of JR shooting. Do you think him and Melo can get back to shooting the ball well again? They've really struggled the last few games. The end of the Boston series and then in Game 1, they've really been shooting poorly.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe they can because I think shooting is a mindset too. And I just think that if they just lock in, see one thing, Melo's saying the right things in public. So is JR because he said, "Well, I'm gonna just keep shooting." Now, some people twisted it and made it seem as if he was going to just go nuts anyway. No, he wasn't saying that. What he was saying was, I'm going to keep my confidence like I know the next one's going to go down. And I think with that mindset, and them understanding, okay, this is the playoffs, it's a grind, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that in the third, he'll be fine. They'll be fine. And see, I was telling somebody, see, when people are looking at Melo's percentage, it's not like he's taking 23 jump shots or 23 three-point shots. Now, mind you, his three-point shot has been falling of late, but he goes to the basket a lot of times, and he may not make the first shot, but then he'll jump, because he's a very quick jumper. He'll jump, maybe, try tipping. That might not work. He may try it again. That might not work. Already, that's over 3 field goal attempts. You know what I mean? So you could be over 3 just that quick. Then he may do it again, and then he may make one jump shot, and they may say, okay, well, Melo's 1 for 7 from the field. Okay, it's not like he's taking 7 jump shots and did that. He went to the basket, didn't get the call, and missed the shot. So, a lot of times, I think athletes in jail are doing it now as well. They'll go to the basket expecting contact, but they don't make the shot. LeBron is pretty good at doing that, where he'll go for make the shot, and then, when the contact comes, he'll just have to deal with it.
Yeah.
But Melo's better than we thought that. But I think Melo got a couple of bumps and bruises, so he's trying to nurse him to test. But usually he's pretty good at because he's worked out with Michael Jordan, over the years, and Kobe, and they taught him tricks of the trade on how to make the shot and still get fouled. But those are field goal attempts. Anytime you shoot something at the basket, it's a field goal attempt.
Exactly.
So I think he'll be better.
See, and it's funny because we both feel the same. That shooters got to shoot to get out of shooting slumps. It's just how it works. There's nothing else you can do about it. You're not gonna go sit on the bench and close your eyes for 10 seconds and get yourself
Right.
out of it. You got to shoot.
No
What I'm curious when it comes down to the Knicks is the disappearance offensively of a guy like Jason Kidd. I believe he's on 4 straight games now without scoring a single basket.
Yeah, and see, the disappearance is one thing. He's not taking a shot. He's actually moving the ball. Because I watched him when he's more of a set shot shooter, and if he doesn't have enough time to set his feet, he won't hoist it because he's not as quick as he used to be. So, and then he doesn't have the ability to pump fake you and drive past you and let you pay like he used to do in the past. I mean, back in the day, he didn't even have a jump shot, and he was just a pump fake, and he's going to drive past you and score or dish it to someone that might have a better look.
Yeah, the young athletic kid.
What's happening now is that people are running at him, running him off the line, and then he'll just pass it a different way. Then he may take a bad shot, with the shot clock down or whatever, just to get the ball out of his hands. So it's not qualifying him to shoot his regular shot. Because matter of fact, the Boston series, the last 2 games, I don't think I saw him actually shoot a real clean look. You know what I mean? And the ones he did shoot, he might have missed. But a lot of times people are running at Jason not to let him shoot an open clean, because he can shoot a set shot. I mean, you give him enough time, he'll shoot that. But he's not gonna pull the trigger, a la Shumpert, a la J.R. Smith, a la Melo. So and he's a little slow with his trigger, so he may not shoot enough to really qualify himself to get himself open. And Prigioni, who has a pretty decent jump shot, set shot as well, because he doesn't jump inch off the ground, but he won't shoot it either. He's more apt to, if I have the ball, I'm going to move it somewhere else. And not that he does it because he's scared. He just does it because he likes moving the ball. And that's what Jason is. So, again, people are saying, well, Jason's not scoring. Jason's not going to the basket. He's not 27 anymore. So he's not doing that. But if Jason was 5 years younger, you see him going to the basket and doing other things.
I think if he was 5 years younger, the Knicks might be the number 1 seed in the East.
I'm going to tell you something. Him and Rasheed Wallace as well,
You take some of those vets they got on that team and make them 5 years younger. This Knicks team is one of the most stacked teams in the history of the league.
Now, Jerald, let me ask you, do you think the Knicks – do you think they need to play both Martin and Chandler on the floor at the same time in this series? That's usually not their MO. That's not what they're used to doing. They're used to going with that smaller lineup. Do you think it's a smart move trying to match up and play bigger with Indiana, who is a bigger team, or do you think they should just stick with keeping, say, Prigioni and guys like Kidd on the floor more than keeping both Martin and Chandler out there at the same time?
What I would do is stay with the small lineup and try to speed the game up. Okay? Now, and see how you do. If you get up to a 10-4 spurt, what have you, and your shots are clicking, the ball's moving, and you're doing certain things, then you can bring in Shumpert. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Then you can pull Shumpert to the 2, or bring in JR at the 2. If you want sub, if whoever you want sub for. Okay? Then you can slide Melo over to the 3 spot. If not, or it's before natural position. Then you could bring in a Kenyon. I wouldn't start off like that just yet. I would start trying to play fast, get in the rhythm. Then I would do that, because at some point, you get to the late second quarter, late third quarter, when guys are a little tired, then that's when that size can bother you, because you may be able to jump, but if you can't jump higher than a 6'9" guy, you only 6'3", 6'4", then that rebound's going the other way. So I would employ a bigger lineup, but I would do it in increments where according to the game flow. But to just say, okay, Shumpert, you start here, you start, not unless I'm really desperate. But I would do that early enough in the game to where it's effective. But like I said, I would try my small lineup and just try to play fast. Because I'm gonna tell you something. When Detroit beat the Pistons, when Detroit beat the Blazers back in, I believe it was 89, I think it was 89, 90, they was killing those big boys with the dribble drive. It was Isaiah, it was Joe, and Vinny. And they was and that's when that crossover thing really started.
Yeah.
And it was that dribble drive, and it was going to the basket, and it was eating those guys alive. And they did that after they had split in Detroit. because remember, because at that time, the Blazers had beaten Detroit in Portland. I don't know, like 10 years in a row. It was some crazy figure, and they started going to that dribble drive, and it was totally effective. See, now you can do that against bigger guys. If a Shumpert can play, can put the ball on the ground. Jeff can do the same thing, and of course, Pelton can do the same thing. If you can use that as a weapon when you're doing that dribble drive and you get into the lane, now you don't necessarily go to the basket so much, but you can get to the lane and do the teardrops. As long as you're getting past your guy and you have some space to put the ball up, then you can be effective if you're making that shot.
Felton's been pretty effective with that lately, hasn't he?
Well, that's
when he gets to the rim.
It's been beautiful. It's been beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, and the way he was doing it, it almost looked like a trick shot because he was like doing it off of 1 foot and kind of like looping it in the air. And because a few times I thought he was doing an alley-oop, but he was actually shooting the ball, and he made some pretty plays. And see, and you notice, like Felton's been killing the whole playoff because he's putting the ball on the ground and he's getting into the lane. Nate Robinson, another one, he's putting the ball on the ground and getting past you. And it's hard to, if you're 6'5", 6'6", or whatever, and you can get low to the ground, of course, but you're not getting as low as somebody 6'1", 6'2", you know what I mean? And that can get down, especially if they're strong with their dribble. If they could do that, you can get past anybody, or at least create enough space for you with a crossover where you can have a pretty clean look at the basket. But I'm going to tell you what I also do, too, over the Knicks. I will put in Camby and Chandler, even if it's 2 or 3 minutes. Put both of them boys in, and let's see what Camby can do. All right, and Camby. What I think what Camby messed up was he was out of shape coming in and trying to get in shape here in his foot, and I think that is where he really disappointed Michael Woodson and the coaching staff because I mean it's not like he lost it that much. I mean because basically all you want him to do is rebound and block shots or create space, But him not being as agile and mobile and able to do things, with his 7'4" frame, he really did the Knicks a disservice. But I would try him at the power forward at times, and I would keep Chandler. And I'm not doing it for a long time, not long stretches. But if I wanted to get really big, just to give Hibbert some trouble, I would do that.
Now, we've heard rumors that Amari's due back in Game 3. Now, do you think that bringing him back is going to be like? What kind of impact do you think Amari can have on this team, especially with how physical Indiana plays? Maybe taking Melo off of David West, like something like that, or do you think Amari just comes in and plays a small role?
I believe he will come off the bench, but the thing is, he's proven. In the 29 games, I mean, he averaged 14 points and about maybe 6 rebounds, probably 6 rebounds, somewhere around there, and he was effective. I mean, because I watched him, because my thinking was I want to see how much this $50,000 per week went with Akeem Olajuwon. And the game where his last game of the season, which was against the Thunder, he put on a show. He put on an absolute show, and you know who was guarding him? Ibaka.
Yeah.
And he was giving Ibaka the business, down low spin moves, what have you, because he was doing a lot of his moves against the Milwaukee's and other teams. And I said, well, I want to see what he does against a renowned defender. He gave. Matter of fact, I think he fouled Ibaka out. If he didn't foul him out, I know Ibaka had 5 fouls. He was very ineffective. So yeah, and see one thing about Amari, he's a warrior. He has a warrior's heart. You know what I mean? If I didn't trust his mental makeup in terms of him bringing that dog with him, I would say, leave him alone. Like I love Novak, but Novak doesn't have enough dog in him just yet. But Amari, yeah, he's gonna pound his chest and get going and what have you. I would give him a shot. I would give him maybe 3 or 4 minutes in spurts just to see where he is. And I'm gonna tell you one thing: if they guard him 1-on-1, he's gonna do work. If they double him, then he has a way of passing it, to the open guy. But if they play him 1-on-1 and he's stealing his oats, he's gonna be trouble. He's gonna be an X factor.
And I think we both agree with you on that one. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Speaking of the 1-on-1, I mean, the Knicks run a lot of isolation. Do you think it's beneficial for them to have both Melo and JR on the floor as much as they've been playing together lately, being that they're both isolation guys? Wouldn't it be more, I mean, when the Knicks were really hot at the end of the year, part of the reason they were really hot is because they were running either Felton and Prigioni or Kidd and Prigioni instead of having so much of J.R. Smith on the court. Do you think at times that kind of hinders the offense, being that they're both...
Something it does, but something, and I'll be honest with you. What is the difference when the Heat do it? You know what I mean? The Heat will do that with LeBron at any time, where he'll be up high, he'll bring the ball up, and it's almost like they're doing a 1-4 flat. Now he does a lot of that stuff from the top, from the mid-circle, so to speak, because he can, space the floor a little differently. But when they do that and they put them one-on-one, why not? You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're doing an ISO and you got three guys running at you, then you better move that ball. Don't shoot 1-on-3 because that makes no sense. But if you're doing it and you got your man 1-on-1, the only thing with the ISO is that if you're this is why they had that 5-second rule because Charles Barkley was famous for that. You remember with the Sixers and then later with the Suns, he would get that ball and just pound it for 20 seconds in the corner and then make a move. You know what I mean? And now to the point to where if he's isolated and he has his man beat and he can do certain things, with that type of move, do it. Because at some point, isolation will score you baskets. Isolation will get you to the line. Isolation will get you, help you with the penalty. And then sometimes you need that type of a closer. I mean, think about it. Jordan didn't isolate. Kobe didn't isolate. These guys, they do that, and they do basketball. Now, of course, if, being an old Knicks fan as well, if you were playing like the 69, 72, 73 Knicks, where everybody just moved the ball on the perimeter, sure. I mean, that's a different, they play a different type of brand of basketball, but this basketball is different. And usually isolation is where people score. Look at the scoring point guards in the league. The Damon Hillers and these guys here. I'm sorry, Damon Lillard and Kyrie Irving. They're getting points because they're taking their man 1-on-1. Because for one, you can't touch the point guard anymore. Like he used to hand check and what have you. So he can get his 20 and 5 or 6 assists or 7 assists. So if you have an offensive weapon, isolation can work because it's going to always keep the defense honest on some level, especially if you're a potent scorer. So I want to ban the isolation. And last night the Bulls tried that. They didn't win, but they tried the isolation. It just didn't win yesterday because guys missed shots. But Wade isolates, LeBron isolates. They do that.
Yeah, and you know what? I think isolation is I'm more of a guy that believes in isolation as based on the moment.
Right. Exactly.
It's all set. And that's the thing. As an NBA team, you always sit there and you say, you need to have a superstar. And why do you need to have a superstar? Because when you run a play and it doesn't work, you need to give somebody the ball that can run isolation and get a basket. And that is the bottom line. And I think isolation is meant to be used throughout a game, but it's meant to be used at the right times. It should not be the focal point of your offense.
Sure, I agree with that.
Now we do pretty much got to wrap this up, but I want to ask you one more question that actually doesn't involve the Knicks.
I want to ask one more just about the Knicks real quick, and it's just a simple numbers question. Knicks only got off 16 threes in Game 1 against Indiana because of that tough defense Indiana plays. They averaged 29 on the year. How many do you think they get off tonight, Joe?
I think I think it was 19 because I think they were 5 for 19. I think they were 5 for 19. Again, if they start off fast, they'll get 20 somewhere around there. But the thing is, my friend, you don't see everybody call them a 3-point shooting team. You don't want them to just get up there and just hoisting threes like that. Just for the sake of it. If it's an open look, you remember I told you they're running guys off the 3 now, and then what was happening is they'll step in and shoot a 15-footer, which you need that anyway. You need, if these guys had Allen Houston's skill, that dribble drive, that dribble pump fake and then shoot the jump shot, which is a lost art in the NBA. So yeah, if somebody comes at you, pump fake, dribble a few times, get inside the circle, then shoot it. It may be 2 points, but you're still scoring. So they don't necessarily have to just get to the point to where they got to hoist threes, but they have to take good quality shots. Good quality shots. If it's a dribble drive and you get into the lane and shoot a loop shot, or if you swing the ball and you get a nice open look, then shoot it. But don't just bring, I'm gonna just shoot threes. Because then you're gonna look bad if you don't get that rebound. So I would still look to see them around. To be honest with you, depending on the speed of the game, high teens, 19 to 20, 22, somewhere around there.
All right. Well, and that's the thing. The Knicks live and die by the three. And if they can make their threes, then they have every opportunity to beat Indiana. Because no matter how good your defense is, you can't do anything about a team that's shooting hot from 3-point lane. You just can't.
Now I'm gonna add this. For you actually your last question. If Melo's getting those calls tonight down low, it's gonna be trouble. Because see, now again, people forget Melo is an excellent post player. Okay, I mean, they say, well, he's 1 for 7 from 3. Yeah, okay, whatever. The man down low is a beast.
Oh yeah, he's a pure scorer. He can score from anywhere.
Yeah, I mean that kid can get it done. So I wouldn't look to. Again, if they play fast tonight with a small lineup, then see where your threes are. But if you're in the grind out and you need a quality, see, this is where Marley's going to help. Game 3, this is where Marley's going to help because you're going to have somebody, you're going to have a big boy scorer that can get buckets in the post, that can get buckets in the post, and he can shoot as well. But if he comes in right, he's gonna be an X factor.
Now, I only got about 1 minute to get this answer out of you because we're on a tight schedule. But let me ask you, when it comes down to the Brooklyn Nets, we'll sort of two-part this real quick. Part 1, did they or did they not make the right move by letting Carlissimo go? And Part 2, who do you see filling in for him? Just maybe give me a name or two off the top of your head.
All right, I'll give you a name first. Jeff Van Gundy will be excellent for them if they was talking the right language. See, I always think that when coaches leave the NBA for a while and then go into TV, and I like Hubie Brown, Jeff Van Gundy, Collins, people like that, and they do that for 2 or 3 years, you're scouting the entire league because you have to know everyone's tendencies, this, that, and the third. How a team plays, how a team does this, that, and the third. And you're doing that more leisurely because it's your job now as a TV analyst. Then you take that mojo and go back to coaching, I think you become 10 times smarter. I really do. And so I think if they were to go for Jeff Van Gundy at this point, that would be an excellent choice. But I'm hearing Mike Dunleavy as a dark horse, and it's kind of funny. Mike Dunleavy is a Brooklyn boy.
So all right, so he almost be back at his home stomping grounds then.
Yeah. So that might be a name. Now, did PJ get a fair deal? Yes and no. I think he had a prickly relationship with Brook Lopez. Because PJ is not the most people person you don't want to meet. Now, based on his record, I thought he should have gotten another shot. But I believe he lost his job in Game 3 when they were up 14 in Chicago, and they blew that lead. And Game 7, you might as well just had he might have turned his keys in before he left the arena. Because once he lost that game, he had no shot at coming back.
Yeah, right. It definitely put a damper to his rep and his ego. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joe.
No, he'd be hard pressed to get another head coaching gig. If nothing else, Popovich will probably help him as an assistant, somebody like that, because he kind of pulled him up the scrap heap. But I don't think he'll get another head coaching job. I doubt very seriously.
Well, Jerald, man, I don't know how to thank you enough for calling in with us today. Perhaps maybe we'll get you on again next week. We'll catch back up, see where we're at, or later in the week if you want to call in. Our phone lines are always open, and you can just private message me on Twitter. Let me know. We'd be more than happy to have you come in. Is there anything for yourself you want to shout out? Let any of our listeners know about that you're maybe working on.
You keep following me on Twitter, and if you're having fun. But I have a documentary there. I'm in post-production.
4 Miles to Glory, right?
Yeah.
I actually watched that.
It's not quite done yet.
I actually did watch it, Gerald, and it actually was a really good watch. I didn't even know all that stuff about Mount Vernon High School up there in New York. It's a great documentary. People really should check it out.
Yeah, but definitely. Well, we're not finished yet, but when it is done, wait till you see who's narrating it. It's going to knock your socks off. So, but I'll keep in touch with you guys to let you know how we're doing it so that we can have a nice big premiere and all that kind of good stuff.
Sounds great, man. We'd really appreciate it.
Thank you very much,
right.
Gerald, man. You have yourself a good day, all right?
All right, we'll talk to you
buddy.
soon.
All right.
You got it.